can meditate and rise above them clouds of thought. That's the soul. That's the observer. We must connect with that. Okay, this will definitely help with just allowing yourself to connect with your true self. Meditation's great because you can just fully detach from the world. And the more you meditate, the more you can prepare for death. A powerful way to cultivate detachment is through daily detachment meditation, done either at night or in the morning or the first breath upon waking. Or do this as many times as possible per day. Start by physically grounding yourself in the present moment. Say out loud, I am here right now, nothing else matters. Let that phrase draw your awareness into the now. Just keep saying it until you're present. Then begin to slowly list everything you identify yourself with, one by one. I am not your body. I am not my body. I am not my name. I am not my possessions. I am not my house. I'm not my children. I'm not my everything. I am not my thoughts. Release each layer gently. Imagine if you want to, if you have a good imagination, imagine placing these things into a big box, placing your body, placing your name, placing your possessions, placing your house, your car, your thoughts, your beliefs into a box, and then shut that box. If you have a good imagination, do that. That can help. And you'll be left with yourself. And you're not even that. It goes even deeper. Eventually, you'll reach the mind itself. Detach from the language that the mind is even using. Now, that's very difficult. And not many people have ever thought about that, and they've ever even been there. Detach from the language that the mind is using. Think about that for a second. Your mind is not what you actually think. It goes very deeper. Your mind is not that little voice. It's that voice that the language is using. So even the language is a spell on your mind. Okay, it's an attachment. Eventually, you'll reach the mind itself, detached from the language it uses, the voice in your head, the need to define. What remains is something beyond thought and beyond words. I can't even describe what's left because words, once the language is gone, it's purely metaphysical. All I can say is pure awareness, and it's symbolized. This is why symbols are so amazing, because they can symbolize things that are beyond words. A flame, it's just a flame, and you won't be able to understand that until you've been there. It's just a flame. It's pure cause. Words can't describe it. You'd have to experience it. Connect with this essence daily. This is truly who you are. So this is a great way to detach. We can do these detachments every single day through meditation. This will definitely help over long periods of time. Of course, you're not going to be ready tomorrow for death, but just try and prepare for these things. This is the whole reason people used to meditate. It's the whole reason why people do these spiritual practices, because they understood that this plane is temporary and your soul moves on from this plane. And you'll never truly believe in the soul until you experience it. So I can show you these things, but you must go out and experience it. The soul is real, but you won't understand unless you cast off everything else. Okay. So I hope this video helps. It's a very deep video. I'm going to be making more of these stuff, of more self-mastery. And of course, we've made the self-mastery section now. So I'm going to start filling up this place with lectures. And I think it's a great time to start this because a lot of people have been asking on how to master yourself, prepare to death. So hope this video helps. See you in the next one.
bookofwisdom.com. Visit today.
So this is known as the bag of the gods. This symbolism is widely known, but no one knows what it truly symbolizes. We see this in ancient Sumerian artwork. We see this in the Mayans' artwork. We always see this bag with the gods. What does this actually represent? Okay, so the bag itself represents carrying. Carrying what? It represents information, it represents knowledge. Your mind is the carrier of the information. So this is why in his left hand, he carries the bag, and the right hand has the pine cone. This represents carrying of information. Why is it a bag? A bag can be passed on to someone else. The information can be taught to someone else. This is the information of activation of the pineal gland or higher consciousness of humans. Because as humans, we all possess an animal nature, the nature that tells us to eat, to steal, to gain material wealth, to survive, to hate. This is our animal self. This is our animal behavior. But we also have a divine nature of consciousness, which we have access to, the higher planes of consciousness, the planes that manipulate this material world and create all things in this material world. The human mind has access to. The animal does not. The animal has no idea he exists. The animal has no inner dialogue, but humans have the inner dialogue. Humans can create infinitely. We can expand our minds infinitely into new realms of thought. So we have this higher divine nature and a lower nature. This bag of the gods is basically just representing the knowledge they possess of higher consciousness, of the higher aspect of life. Okay, which is the activation of the pineal. The pine cone. The pine cone is in his right hand. The right represents wisdom. The left represents intellect, knowledge. Knowledge and wisdom are two separate things. Wisdom is applied knowledge, it's a feminine aspect. Knowledge is just gained information that you know, which is masculine. So in his right hand, he holds the pine cone. The pine cone can be opened and shut. The shut pine cone represents the asleep human being, the human being that exists in his lower nature, that just basically survives, lives on eating, consumption, material lust, living in chaos with his emotions, living in a place of hell. This is the animal nature. Then we have the awakened human, the one who has consciousness of himself, the one who looks within himself, the one who knows there is more to him when he looks in the mirror. He is far more than just the physical body. He is a divine spiritual being, a divine being who has limitless potential of creation into the material plane. So this represents the awakened, this represents the asleep. This is why he carries the pine cone in his right hand. It represents applied knowledge. This is the information, this is the intellect he possesses, and this is the applied knowledge of the awakening, of activation of the pineal gland. Because remember, the pineal gland is not your consciousness. The pine, pin, pineals, the same root word. Pine cones were always symbolizing the state of consciousness one was living in, whether he was asleep or awake. We see this at the Vatican. We see the pine cone over the two pillars. This is the two pillars of Freemasonry, and the dome. This is the Royal Arch of Freemasonry. This represents your head. This is the two pillars, the two hemispheres, and the pine cone in the middle, which is the pineal gland. What is the pineal gland? The pineal gland is not your consciousness. It is not the third eye, and it is not the mind. It's not the mind's eye. The pineal gland is a radio receiver. This is your body. Your body is an antenna. Most people think they are this body. This body is nothing but a receiver and a downloader of consciousness. Your brain does not produce consciousness. You are not this brain in your head. This brain is a downloader of consciousness. Consciousness comes from a way higher divine plane, which is what this image is showing here with the clouds. The mind is light. Consciousness is light. And this light is coming down into the material plane, and your body is basically a crystal antenna which is receiving and downloading this consciousness. So you can experience a three-dimensional reality. So God can experience himself in a divided, separate state. This is what this represents. Now, the pineal gland can be activated, okay, and stimulated because the pineal gland has phytoluminescent crystallized jagged shaped cells on it. And obviously these are crystals. Crystals are on your pineal gland. And what do crystals do? Radios use crystals. Your phone uses crystals. They tell you that crystals are woo-woo and pseudoscience because they don't want you to know the power of crystals. Your body is basically a giant crystal. Your pineal gland is a radio receiver for your consciousness. So if they can ruin your pineal gland and damage it, this will damage your connection to the divine, to your true self, to consciousness, to God, whatever you want to call it, the source. There is all one source consciousness, and we're all collectively connected to it. And this is our connection. This is our antenna. So what a radio does, a radio has an antenna, and the frequencies are all around us because all the radios are playing in your ear right now. But what the antenna of a radio does is tune into a specific frequency to pick up that frequency and play that frequency. It's the same with your consciousness. You're all a fraction of God's consciousness. So that is essentially what we are looking at here. We're seeing knowledge, intellect in the left hand, and applied knowledge, activation of waking up to higher consciousness, to the higher human form. Because we can reach beyond our physical form. We can turn our animal self into a divine being, into one of these so-called gods. These gods are nothing but human beings. The Anunnaki were not gods. They didn't come from the sky. These are normal, regular human beings who activated their higher consciousness. This is what we have here. This represents spirit. Birds represent spirit. So do we have any questions? I'll take some questions now. That was just a short lecture on what that symbol truly means. Okay, so if we have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask some questions. Anything that you don't understand, anything that you want to know. Okay. So base reality would be where source resides. Yes, the base reality is your consciousness. Are these lectures available in the university? There's a whole section, basically inside the university, there's a whole section with like over 30 long form lectures like this. So the base reality is where the source resides. Yes, the base reality is your inner world, your consciousness. That is the only thing that exists. Your outer world is just an effect of your consciousness. Your consciousness, everything that has gone on within the mind and emotion is pushed outwards into your reality. You have thought and felt your way into your external circumstances. Your life is a direct correlation of every thought you thought in the past. Therefore, your inner world of consciousness is creating and molding your outer world. The best way to keep connection consistent, the best way to keep your connection to the divine or the higher planes of consciousness is through meditation and through imagination. Imagination is the fourth dimension. It is the astral plane. That screen that you have in your mind is not a physical screen. That is the divine plane of the astral. And this is essentially where all objects of this material world comes from. The phone that you are holding, the laptop you're watching this on, whatever you're doing, Every single object you see in your room that you are in right now began inside of the plane of imagination. This is not a physical plane. This is a metaphysical plane that you have access to. And you have the ability to bring down this plane into physical form. That's what we call manifestation. That's what the ancients called magic. This is what we now call in science metaphysics. It's all the same thing. So, yes, you all have access to the divine planes, unlike animals. This is why humans are so advanced. Okay. Is the pineal able to constantly activated, or is it just a temporary experience? I don't fully understand that question, unfortunately. Maybe you could word it in a different way. The real meditations on the university, legit, y'all, yes. In order to connect to consciousness, you need to sit in meditation and turn off your feelings, and the feeling of unity will come. Do I understand correctly? Yes, that is correct. So when you sit in silence and in stillness, I highlight the word stillness because stillness, when you are still, no information from your nervous system is being decoded by the brain. So when your body is still and does not move, your nervous system starts to relax and comes to a balanced state. Your brain starts to relax, it comes to a balanced state. The left and the right brain stop working, the nervous system stops working. Then, once the body, the material body is shut down, you then have access to consciousness. You can't access consciousness if the body's in such a busy state. If electricity is being fired every 2 seconds, your whole body's electrical. When you move your foot, that's electricity being fired from the brain to the foot instantly through the nervous system. The brain, your whole body is a technological machine. So you must shut down the technological machine to access the divine that exists beyond the technological machine. Do you understand that? Did we create ourselves from the higher plane? When you say yes, you created yourself, you manifested yourself in this material form for a reason in this specific time and place. Wisdom books, are these available inside the university? Yes, they are. So anyone who joins the university, they all gain 50% off the store. So you can get anything you want inside the store for 50% off. Plus, you get the Book of Wisdom Volume 1 PDF for free. You get the Human Health Guide. Plus, you get all of the library books. There's a load of different books on occultism, symbolism, esotericism. Do you need to place your attention somewhere specific during meditation? You can do. Okay, you can do. So if you struggle, when you first start to meditate and you struggle to turn off the thoughts, think of the back of the brain, the back of your head. Don't think of it, place your attention on it. Okay. So when you place your attention on the back of the brain, this now shuts off thought because the back of the brain doesn't have any activation to do with thought. The front brain does, the neocortex. That's all to do with activation of thinking. So place your attention on either the back of the brain or your breath. What's more important, creating yourself or finding yourself? It's balance of both. So in order for you to create fully, you must have awareness of self and awareness of thought and control over the mental dialogue, the inner voice inside of you. Okay. When you control that inner voice, that is when you gain power. That inner voice is what brings commands into physical reality. Before you kick a football, there is a change in consciousness. There's a decision made in consciousness before the body takes the action. Therefore, every physical manifestation is a change of inner consciousness before it's a physical reality. You can have the reality you want through consciousness before physically having it. That's the secret to creating. But you must believe it like you know the sun is going to rise in the morning. That's how much you should know that you have that reality in consciousness through feeling and thought and imagination. And that's how you can truly create in your reality. Shrooms help with consciousness or ego. I can't really talk about that because I'm maybe uploading this to YouTube, unfortunately. But we need to clean our pineal gland first from calcification. Yes, definitely. You should go on a detox the body, because you can't really connect with consciousness if your body is in such a dirty state. Because the brain is your nervous system is in a state of fight or flight, trying to fight off all these toxins. So when you meditate, you're probably going to be having thoughts all the time because your brain's firing, your nervous system's being attacked through toxins. So you must detox to have a true connection with the divine. Your diet plays a big role in your spirituality and mentality. What is the most optimal food for pure consciousness? Fruits and vegetables. They possess consciousness. So when you place them inside of you, they're syncing with your consciousness. How to check the cleanliness of your body, your skin, your teeth, your tongue, your mouth. If your skin has spots, different colors on it, you're not clean, because your skin is a reflection of your inner organs. Coffee's not the best for you. Coffee gives you fake energy. Okay. So what coffee does, that buzz you get off coffee, is actually the toxic effect of the chemicals reacting with your body. If I'm inside the university and wanted to buy your book, you said it would be 50% off because we are your student. Is that automatic or we need to have a code? You will have a code. Yes, I'm going to releasing a code for all the students after this. Caffeine equals neurotoxin. Yes, it fries your brain, it fries your nervous system, it fries your dopamine receptors. Will the Q&A last week about money symbolism be posted? Oh, I didn't post that. That's my bad. I totally forgot. I will post that after this. Thank you for reminding me. How to detox the body. The best way to detox the body is going through a week cleanse of fruit. So only consume fruit, sea moss, and cayenne pepper, and lots of freshly pressed juice. Do that for a week or 2 weeks, depending on how you feel, and then start to fast. You will lose weight, but you're not losing weight. You're losing impurities. It's good to do this every couple months, to just go on a raw fruit diet, cleanse the body, push everything out, and then start to fast while consuming sea moss and having lots of freshly squeezed juices. What is an alternative for coffee? Something with high energy levels. Okay, we're not taught the most simplest thing about the human body. It is an electromagnetic machine. It's electrical. It runs off electricity. The only energy you need is electricity, and that is found in fruits, vegetables. If you want energy, drink pure, fresh, pressed juice. That will give you more energy, more electricity than coffee. Can we cleanse ourselves through oil pulling? Do you recommend it? I do oil pulling every day with coconut oil in my mouth. Celery juice is a good one, very good one. Yes, celery juice. Any more questions? What kind of music do you listen to when lifting? For me, rap, hip hop push me work harder, but I know it's terrible for my subconscious. Yes, very. At least you're aware of it. You should be definitely try and stay away from the hip hop music. Try and stay away from anything that's talking about anything negative, because this is all programming your subconscious. And your belief system is your reality, people. Your belief system is your reality. Okay. So look after your subconscious. That's what's controlling your actions. 90% of your actions on a daily basis are controlled through your subconscious beliefs. Okay. I listen to a lot of Pastel Ghost. I listen to a lot of let me get my playlist up. It's all like background music for TikTok. Do you know what I mean? Like Pastel Ghost. That's mainly what I listen to. That sort of music. I don't know what it's kind of called. I don't know what that genre is called. Does anyone know what that genre is actually called? Because there's not much words in it. The reason I listen to it is because there's not much words in it, and it helps the subconscious. And I just love that music. Like lofi, yeah, a bit of lofi. Uh, most people won't even know this type of music. Can you tell us how you use cayenne pepper? So I mix it with freshly squeezed orange juice every morning. So the first thing I have, empty stomach, I have a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, mix it in and just down it every morning. And sometimes at night. The feeling you get in your stomach after putting cayenne pepper on an empty stomach is absolutely amazing. It tingles in your stomach. It kills parasites. It kills all horrible organisms. Mix it with hot water. Yes, hot water and key lime water. That I bet that's powerful. If you mixed warm water with key lime with cayenne pepper in first thing in the morning, I can imagine how powerful that is. I've never done that, but I'm going to try that. Do you use sea salt? I don't know what to think about sea salt, to be honest. I try and stay away from it. I don't know whether it's good, don't know whether it's bad. I'm kind of mixed on it, mixed information. Uh, I've heard people have benefits. I've heard other people say stay away from it. So I don't know. I just stay away from it. Just I'm not too sure on it. I drink fresh pressed celery juice every morning. Yeah, definitely. Uh, is there any chance we could like feel for, move to like esoteric occult questions? The only reason I say that is because I might be posting this to YouTube, so it's like I don't want them. I don't want them thinking I'm giving health advice because I'm not. This is what I do. I'm not giving anyone medical advice. This is what I would do to myself because I can probably get in trouble for that. So the subconscious is the all knowing, it is the all seeing eye. The subconscious knows everything. Your conscious mind does not. Your subconscious knows every single cell in your body. Your subconscious is making your heart beat. It's talking to your heart. It's talking to every organ, every cell in your body is being connected and spoken to by your subconscious mind. It is the all knowing. The subconscious has access to the astral plane, imagination, the fourth dimension. It has access to the mental plane, thoughts. It has access to the ethereal plane, energy, and has access to your physical body. It's the door, it's the portal. The subconscious is the portal to the divine. You must go through the subconscious in order to access the divine. Any coupon codes for book 2? Yes, inside the university, there will be a 50% off coupon code. Speaking of ancient civilizations, why did they use symbols to give us true knowledge? This is a very, very good question. Very good question indeed. The reason they use symbols is because symbols are their keys. They hide meanings. They hide things. For example, if it was written down, if all of this sacred knowledge that I'm speaking now was written down, it can be easily taken. It can be easily misused. Someone can take it, read it, and steal it and misuse it and abuse the world and create horrible things. The reason they use symbols is because they're hidden. They hide the teachings. Only the ones who possess the key, that possess the knowledge, can read the symbol. So the symbols act as a guard towards this higher wisdom, this higher knowledge, which gives you power. All of the knowledge I teach you gives you power. And you can misuse it. You can misuse your imagination. You have no clue, unless you've put this into action, how powerful your inner consciousness is. You can become a Okay, listen. If you hate your job, it's not the job that you hate. Think about it. It's not the job that you hate. The hate is coming from your inner consciousness. It's the state of consciousness that you hate. So what does that tell you? You can change that inner consciousness to another reality, the feeling of another reality. You can become that consciousness within before you actually externally have it. And by becoming and knowing that reality, that's what produces effect on shaping your outer world. When you really, truly know that reality inside of you, of being free, of being wealthy, of having abundance, your outer world has no other choice but to rearrange itself to your new inner state of consciousness. That's what magic is. It's manipulating your inner state of consciousness. It's convincing yourself that you already have it, not believing it, knowing it. Okay? Knowing is different than believing. Believing is a lie. You should know thyself. Okay? So we can say that human overpopulation is intentional. There is no human overpopulation. We're all cramped in these cities. We're all cramped into one little place. We're not supposed to live like that. We're not supposed to live so cramped. This is why there's so many weirdos out in public. So many weird people doing weird things. This is when things start to go weird, and we shouldn't be living in this state, in this condensed state. We should be spread out. Okay. There is no overpopulation. It's just an illusion because we all lived in such. Have you ever been on a plane? Have you seen how much land there is? It's crazy. There's no overpopulation. And how many people do they say there's in the world? There's not that many people in the world that they say. I think it's like 8 billion. I think they say there's 8 billion people. There's not 8 billion people. There's probably more like 2 billion. And the reason I say that is because I have a friend who only has like 300K followers. So that's a lot of followers. Okay. And he gets recognized everywhere he goes. And he's into all this stuff. And he says, listen, the population is definitely not 8 billion or whatever they say. I think it's like a couple billion. It's probably more like a billion. How to properly manifest intentions. Thought, emotion, and imagination are the key. You must know that you have that reality. Don't believe it. Become that reality within your consciousness. All day long, as much as possible. Feel it. Imagine it. Say it. And have zero doubt. How to have zero doubt. You can't, well, okay, so the doubt, that little voice that will seep into your mind saying, you can't do that. You can't do this. That's your old voice of your subconscious program. Listen, The reason why most people fail in life is because they have trained their subconscious that they will fail. They have told and believed that they will fail. The reason I will succeed for the rest of my life is because I have trained my subconscious to say, I will win, I will succeed, I will solve any problem. That's my belief system. And if my belief system is that, then my external reality, my conscious mind will seek a way to fulfill that belief. It will seek to control and create that belief in my external world. It will seek to solve any problem. I've trained my subconscious mind to know that I already have the reality, to know that I'm abundant, to know that I have everything that I already need. Therefore, if any problem comes, I can sort it straight away. But most people have a different belief. It's not your fault. We've been kind of manipulated and told this, that they will fail, that they can't do anything, that it's too hard. And that basically casts a spell on the conscious mind, where your conscious mind is just like, no, I can't do that, because of this subconscious belief that you hold. So you must reprogram your subconscious that you can do it, that you will solve any problem, and that you are abundant. That's the reason why successful people succeed. It's because they have a complete different mind state, a complete different belief system in their subconscious. Do you offer mentoring? Yes, I do offer mentoring, but it's mainly for people who want to grow their online presence, and for the amount of value and transformation that I can place into your life, and the time that, well, the price of my time, it will be a higher price tag, but your life will completely change if you join my mentoring, because I will transmute your life. I will transmute your mind, and I will transmute your whole reality, because I could tell you exactly what you need to do. How to have super genius power pulling information from the source. Okay, so you can do this. I talked about this in Book of Wisdom, Volume 2, if you've read it. This is a technique that Albert Einstein used. This is a technique that Thomas Edison used. This is a technique that all of the ancient geniuses have used. So you get on a chair, you place metal below you or plates, and you hold a metal ball in your hand, and you fall asleep. And every time you fall asleep on the chair, you're going to drop the ball because your body will become unconscious, and you will basically drop the ball and it will wake you up because it's going to hit and make a loud bang on the plate. And every time you go to sleep, basically what this is actually doing is shifting your consciousness from conscious into the subconscious. So from physical into the astral. Your consciousness is shifting between these two planes. And as you do this, you can bring down great ideas from these higher planes. So when you fall asleep, have an intention. And when you fall asleep, you'll drop the ball. And when you wake back up, you'll have an idea, and you just got to write it down. How to balance chakras. Don't focus on balancing your chakras. Focus on the mind. The mind is the cause of the chakras being blocked. If you have a blocked throat chakra, this is a problem in your mind, not the chakra. You see, the chakras are a result of the mind. You transmute the mind, you can transmute the chakras and cleanse them. So was Jesus a real man that walked? Okay, so I'm going to tell you something. Like, some of the things that I say in my reels, they are to catch attention. So if I say the first thing on the reel, Jesus never existed, straight away, you see that, it's going to trigger you. It's going to trigger Christians. It's going to trigger people. So yes, I do say things to catch attention. The reason I do that is because I have to in order to catch attention. Maybe there was a Jesus who walked. So in the past, I have said Jesus never existed. Yes, this is to catch attention, to boost the reels, views, and comments and stuff like that. Maybe there was a man who was called Jesus and walked the earth. But listen, he was not the Son of God. You are all the Son of God. Jesus represents an archetype. He represents morals. He represents a way of living that you should embody in your life, not to worship. We shouldn't be worshiping this man. We should be embodying his qualities into our lives so we can become Christ consciousness, so we can live in harmony with our mind, emotions, body, and spirit. Okay? He was not the Son of God. You are all the Son of God. We are all God experiencing himself in a three-dimensional divided form. God is oneness, and he created a divided world so he can experience himself. Why do you quote from the Freemasons oft times? I don't recall me looking at Freemason quotes and quote them. I just simply, when I post a quote, I literally just, whatever comes to my head, I just whack it into Telegram or Twitter. Are dreams tied to your subconscious, and how do you understand them? Okay. Dreams and astral projection are two different things. Astral projection is your soul leaving this plane into the collective consciousness, into the collective mind, the collective astral plane. But dreams are basically the astral plane, but it's your personal astral plane in your personal subconscious. So when you dream, you're entering your own consciousness, you're entering your own subconscious. Every character, every event that happens to you, everything that is said to you, everything that happens to you in your dream is yourself pushed outwards, and you're basically experiencing your own mind. If something scary comes up in your dream, this is your belief, this is something in the back of your mind materializing and coming to you and showing itself to you. So in order to understand your dreams, it's basically suppressed emotions, suppressed thoughts, all lingering in your subconscious materialized. Okay. A few months ago, I'd have concurrent dreams of getting in a car crash that lasted for months. Then one day out of nowhere, I got into a really bad accident, and that low-key bugged me out. I didn't know if my mind was trying to warn me or what. You can explain that. Okay. If you are having dreams about having a car crash, this is a belief. Okay, so let me tell you something. Let's say you're a drug dealer, okay? And you live in fear every single day of the police coming to you. This dealer every day is worried, he's scared, and he lives in fear of the police getting him. He was believing it. This fear, this emotion he was feeling on a regular basis, repetition, and the emotion is basically impressing your subconscious. It's impressed his subconscious that deeply that he now believes it. It's now become a belief. So one day the dealer gets caught and he goes prison. Let me tell you something. He placed himself there because he created a program, a belief in his subconscious of the police. And his external reality is now in a prison cell. But that prison cell is just an external manifestation of the prison cell of fear he installed in his subconscious mind. The four walls he's now trapped in is just basically an externalization of his own belief system that he created through consciousness, through the subconscious. If you embedded your belief that you will be in a car crash, you will be in a car crash. He placed himself there. He materialized that reality through the thought, through the emotion, through the belief. He put himself there. You see? So if you were having dreams, this was maybe, it could have been anything. You could have watched a program when you were a child about a car crash, and that maybe scared you. Or you saw a car crash when you were very young, and that scared you, and that impressed your subconscious. Then you had a dream about it. Then you started to believe it. And then one day, bang, it happens. That's the power of the subconscious mind. It holds control over you. It holds control over every aspect of your reality, of your being. So, I hope you all enjoyed this live. I'll see you all inside Ethereal University. I'll be posting another lecture this week. And yeah, let me hold on.
bookofwisdom.com. Visit today.
What is good, people? How are we all doing? Today we're going to be talking about the different planes of existence, the occult side of the world, the things they don't teach you in school. And of course, you can only find that on this channel, so welcome. So you need to understand is that your consciousness moves through these different planes of existence, these different states of consciousness, which make up all of you. Okay? They are all interlocked planes. They are all interpenetrated into each other. They are all one. They melt into the plane above and below. You see, each plane is a product of each plane. As above, so below. Now, the higher you go, the more fluid, the more dreamy, the less dense it becomes. The lower you go, the more denser it becomes, the more solid it becomes. The lowest plane is the physical plane, which you are obviously aware of. You are inside of the physical plane now. But while you are in this inside of this physical plane, you are indeed inside of all these other bodies which you have not awakened yet. You have to awaken these different bodies. You have these bodies. Okay? It's like a ripple effect. And the center is the most dense, the most solid. This is Earth, heart, the heart of the ripple. And the lower you, the further you go out from the center, the more dreamy, the less fluid, the more fluid, the more less dense it gets until you're one with the all. You see? And this is what it's like. This is what this system is. It's like a ripple effect. Now, let's jump straight into the planes. First, you have the physical plane, made out of 4 elements. 5 elements. The ether is the mother of the elements. It's the womb of the elements. It's the 5th element. And it gives birth to the 4 other elements. 4 is stability. Tables have 4 legs, and this is why the ether gives birth to 4, because it's the foundation of the physical world. Fire, earth, water, air. They are not pure. Each one of the elements melts into the other one. For example, earth and water both share cold. Water and air both share wet. You see? They compose of each other. They melt, they mold into each other based off the vibrational state of the ether. That's what it is. The 4 elements are the vibrational states of the ether. Okay? So you have the 4 physical elements making this, physical world. It's the lowest world. It's the world of effect. This world, whatever you see, whatever you experience, it's the effect. You can't change anything by manipulating this world. You got to manipulate the higher worlds to affect this world, you see? As above, so below. This is the lowest plane. It has 3-dimensional. It's the 3rd dimension. Space, height, and thickness. That's all it is. Front, backwards, upwards. You see, it's 3-dimensional. We cannot perceive the hidden side, which is the interior of this existence. We cannot perceive the interior from our exterior view. We are looking
into this world. Okay, this is the exterior view. We can't see what's inside of that. That's the fourth dimension, which is the next one. It's the most gross and dense plane. Four states of matter, the most slowest vibrational molecules exist in this plane. Above this plane, you have the ether. Okay, the word ether and either are the same thing, because either connects two scenarios in languages. I either support Manchester United or Liverpool. Either is connecting them two scenarios. The ether is doing the exact same, as you can see here on the planes of existence. It connects the astral world, which is very important, to the physical world. It's connecting these two worlds. So it's the ether. It's the ether. The ether is pure potential. Energy flows through the ether. It is pure energy, pure potential. Okay? The physical body is an exact copy of the etheric counterpart body. So every physical object has an etheric energy double. It's like a blueprint of that object. Every single object has an energy double, and that's the etheric double. Okay? The etheric body determines the shape of our physical body through its lines of force. All through life, it rebuilds and restores the physical body. Physical problems show up first in the etheric body, because as above, so below. You manipulate the higher planes, it will manipulate this plane. And this is why sorcery works. You know, contact with astral plane entities. We'll get into that a bit later. So the reason why we can't see this plane, this energy world, which is all around us, which we are inside of right now as we speak, is that the molecules that compose it are further apart than those of the physical plane, making it invisible to the two eyes. That we can't perceive it. Our eyes cannot physically suck in that sort of information, and our brain cannot decode it. This is why, you know, they brainwash us with all these programs to keep us asleep, to keep these other bodies we have asleep, so we don't find out about these other bodies, and is to make you believe that everything's just a material. Only the material world exists. They don't want you to know is that everything that you see is a result of something you cannot see. As above, so below. There are realities within this reality. This is what I'm breaking down now, these different planes, on how this reality works. So your etheric double is your energy body. You can see here the physical, etheric, astral. Astral is your spirit. The ether is a part of the physical plane. It's like just above the physical plane, but it's still part. But then the astral plane is completely separate. It's another plane, but they're all interlocked. Don't think they're apart. They're all interlocked. They're all one. They all melt into each other. The chakras that we have are inside of our etheric body. They are our sense of organs which tune us to the fourth dimension. These 7 chakras connect us to the astral world, the fourth dimension. Okay? They are points for the flow of energy from the universe / 7 planets, because the 7 chakras are your 7 planets, and the 7 planets are connected to the astral world. They are feeding these 7 senses in our body. They connect us to the universe, to our etheric counterpart, and then to us, supplying the physical body. Because the energy comes from above. As above, so below. These 7 senses, these 7 etheric chakras, are being supplied with energy from the universe, the 7 planets, the solar system. Then it supplies the physical body. You see? So, the ether is very important. And this is, you know, that the ancients understood the science of the ether, and they could, you know, harness free electricity from it, because it's all around us. The ether is all around us. And this is what they were doing. They were harnessing free energy using the ether. The astral plane, the fourth dimension, very important plane. Very, very important. We've all been there. Every single one of you has been there. Okay? The fourth dimension is unseen of what we see. It's the interior of the exterior that we see. We see the third dimension, but we cannot see beyond what's making this third dimension. This is the fourth dimension. Okay? It's the dream world. This is where you go when you dream. Okay? This is where you go when you dream. It's the place of disembodied spirits or ghosts, entities, whatever you want to call them. When you hear ringing in your ears, that is not tinnitus. That is an entity around you. Okay? That is an entity around you. The fourth dimension is where thought forms exist. Mental images. Thought forms as in what you see in your mind when you think of an image, because the mind is the highest plane of existence. Mind is the highest plane of existence. And it manipulates all of the planes below. So it goes the mental plane, then the astral plane. So the thought is in the mind, the mental plane. That just the thought alone, no image, but then the form depiction, the thought form exists. It manifests in the astral plane as a sort of image, an entity, a living conscious being. So this is why thoughts are things. You see, thought forms exist within the fourth dimension. So when you imagine something, when you are, for example, right now, look into your hand and imagine there's an apple in your hand. If you can see that, you are seeing into this fourth dimension. You can only see into this fourth dimension using the mind's eye, not the two eyes, the mind's eye. When you shut off the two eyes into darkness, the third eye opens. The mind's eye is open, and you can see, this is astral travel. You got to work on astral travel, and you will see this astral plane, this fourth dimension. And there are 3 different sections to this astral plane: higher, middle, and lower. So yes, there is a kind of a heaven and hell, and a mid-God. Heaven being the higher vibrational entities manifesting higher vibrational thought forms existing there, the lower vibrational thought forms existing in the astral plane. But these thought forms are beings. You can create these beings. They're called elementals. Okay? If you entertain specific thoughts for long enough, this will plant a seed and it will grow. If you keep, so for example, you have a bad feeling or whatever, what's a good example? Unforgiving someone. You keep that energy inside of you for long enough, it will manifest in the fourth dimension. You entertain that thought long enough, it will manifest. And it will create an etheric body, and it will be an entity which will harm you. It will feed off you, this low vibrational energy. Your mind is so powerful. It creates thought forms, and these thought forms can take consciousness, can take bodies, etheric bodies. Now, that's why it's very important that you master your mind, master your thought patterns. So this fourth dimension is the astral world. So when you have a nightmare, this is the lower astral plane. You're in the lower astral plane. Whilst this physical body rests at night, your consciousness, you awaken this other body, your consciousness goes inside of this other body, whilst the physical body lays asleep. You see? So it's all inside of you. This is what you need to understand. You just haven't awakened these bodies yet. You can awaken them. You just got to awaken them. Okay? The next is the mental plane. This is the mind, the source, pure cause, pure motion. The most less dense, the most fluid. No form. There's no form to the mind. Astral plane is the first plane where a form takes existence, pretty much. The mental world has no form. It's pure mind, pure intelligence. Thoughts alone exist here without any images or manifestation. The most fluid, the most dreamy, the most causal plane. All of the rest take the effects of this plane. That's why it's mind over matter. Your thoughts they create vibrations. Each vibration is vibrating on a specific frequency, which creates mental images, creates effects down here on this physical plane. This is why it's so important to master your mind. Master what you think. Master your mind. It's the hardest thing to master. You could conquer the world, but it's probably harder to conquer your own mind than to conquer the whole world. I can promise you that, because the mind can play tricks on you. You got to listen to that inner guide within you that will constantly manifest the good things. So anyways, people, hope you learned a lot from this. please work on trying to activate these other bodies. I will maybe do another video on trying to activate these bodies if you wish. Please comment down below if you would like to see that. And have an amazing day. Please like, subscribe, comment down below any video ideas you want me to do, any information you want me to spit. Thank you all. Have an amazing day.
bookofwisdom.com. Visit today.
Your ultimate goal is to be famous, then you're gonna do a lot to get there, like sign your name in blood in a contract with the devil.
That's how I got introduced to the music industry. I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music. Yeah. But it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil. Well, needless to say, sold my soul.
Alright, y'all. I'm finna sell my soul. I'ma hit y'all when I'm through. I'm gonna be rich as hell, alright?
So what exactly is selling your soul? In order to understand this to its full potential, you have to understand the spirit world and the occult world which our eyes cannot visibly see. The physical world we see is nothing but an illusion and a product of the higher planes of existence. For example, you can see someone's physical body, but you can't see the complex structure of the consciousness and the thinking behind that being. With that being said, there are forces and entities not attached to physical bodies, which they exist on the astral and etheric plane behind the physical plane. Now there are numerous videos and music with artists talking about this. For example,
I sold my soul to the devil and the price was cheap. Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my hand.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
so selling your soul is cutting a deal with an astral plane entity in exchange for wealth and fame on this physical plane. This is classed as black magic because you are bending reality against your intuition. Now, making deals with entities beyond the physical plane, you always have to give something in exchange. When it comes with demonic entities, it always involves some sort of sacrifice, bloodshed, or humiliation. Now, there are countless of rappers who someone close to them have died just before their career takes off to the next level.
My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah. Appreciate
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. Out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing.
So these rappers and celebrities do have to do sacrifice rituals in order to take their career to the next level.
Took flight, I've been growing up, it's a ritual.
So the occult side of this reality is heavily connected with the music industry and the elites. This is why they are all connected to Freemasonry. Now this is why the music industry is one of the most important industries for the elites to stay in control and keeping the masses on low states of consciousness. Frequency is one of the most powerful things in reality because it's the only thing which can enter your soul and body without consent. The frequency on Spotify and all major platforms are all tuned to 440 Hz, which was set by the Rockefellers. 440 Hz turns off the whole right side of your brain, and the right side of your brain is to do with critical thinking, imagination, and your intuition. Music has the ability to influence your intent, your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions just by frequency itself. By controlling the music the celebrities put out and the things they talk about, they're actually molding society because of the celebrities' huge amount of influence over the younger generation and cultures within society. This is why the music industry is mainly talking about sex, guns, violence, and hating other people. These are all very low vibrational acts and things to do which destroys humanity and societies, keeping us all conquered and divided in order for them to stay in power. Music can actually reprogram your subconscious mind, and it is a form of MK Ultra, which is mind control.
It's in my brain. Do you know that? It's living rent free. I can't get it out. You did that.
Yeah, it's hypnosis. Yeah, it's hypnosis.
You're so awesome and dope.
You do need to be very careful with what you're listening to and what frequency it's playing at, because all of this has an effect on your electromagnetic field and your state of consciousness. Now let's go back to selling your soul. When these rappers and celebrities sell their soul, they now gain eternal life on this physical plane.
When you do sell your soul, you are allowed to live forever. And these people that are called youngins, rookies, new booties, like I was, had no idea that these people still live. They will prey, haunt, kidnap, anything to stay on top. This is their world. They have nothing but time, is what they believe.
Now this explains why there's so much Saturn worship, because Saturn is the father time. He's the god of time and crystallization in the physical realm. If you want more information on that, go to my previous video. Now here is A$AP Rocky standing inside of a pentagram, but notice the way he's standing, it's an inverted pentagram. The pentagram is associated with magic, however, the upright pentagram is the 5 elements with spirit on the top. It's either called spirit or ether. It's at the top because it rules the other 4 elements, because it's the baseline of reality, which is spirit and matter. Spirit is behind the physical reality. However, when it comes to black magic, they invert the pentagram, so spirit is at the bottom because they worship the physical world. This is why the Baphomet is the inverted pentagram. These people are operating off their animal instincts. They do not want anything to do with spirit. These are antichrist. All of these celebrities know full well the effect what they're doing on the rest of the world. They have sold themselves out, and the elites use them as puppets to push this new world order and mold society in the way they want it. This is why all the celebrities are linked to Freemasonry. Because in Freemasonry you have to take the oath of silence, where you can't speak on anything that they learn inside of Freemasonry. This is the symbol of silence. The elites need them under this oath, so they do not talk about certain topics and certain things to the public. because of the amount of influence they have on society. Now, even the name Hollywood is an occult term, because back in the ancient days when they used to create wands, they used to create them out of Hollywood, out of the holly tree, because each wood has certain attributes and virtues when it comes to magic. And the holly tree was known as the holy wood, and they used to create the wands out of it to cast spells. And Hollywood are still casting magic to this day through the films and through the music to the masses. That's it for this video, people. Hope you enjoyed. Please like and comment and subscribe. Peace and much love.
bookofwisdom.com. Visit today.
Today's topic is the binary code behind the universe. You will learn the fundamentals of the binary code, deeper understanding of reality, which will give you more of a connection to the universe, evidence supporting the existence of this code, and how to use the binary code to shape your reality. Now, this is an important one. We have 0 and 1. This is the binary code of the universe. It underlies everything. It is the source of all creation. The universe is binary in nature, meaning it exists as both something and nothing, on and off, male and female, light and dark. Everything has its polar opposite. At its core, all that exists is 0, representing nothingness, infinite potential, and 1, representing something, order. 0 represents the feminine, vast, formless, and infinite potential. It is the space from which all things emerge, the womb of creation, the receptive and expansive force. 1 represents the masculine, structure, form, and order. It is the active principle, the initiator, the force that defines and shapes reality. Together, they create the fundamental duality that underlines existence, the balance between chaos and order, the void and creation, yin and yang. We see this in the masculine and feminine bodies. This is deeply encoded into the fabric of reality. And once you see this, you will never unsee this. So please leave a like on this video if you love my content and you love the wisdom that I share with the world. So we see this with the masculine genital areas. Remember, this is the genital area. This is all to do with creation. These are the generative principles, the generative organs in the body that allow creation to continually outfold into new life. The genital areas are all to do with the code. The male is the 1, the action. He's the initiator. The feminine is the 0, which is the infinite potential, the womb of creation. 0 and 1. This is why we have 10 numbers. 0 and 1. Masculine and feminine. We even see this in the bodies. The feminine body is made out of curves, which is 0, curves, and the masculine body is made out of lines. So please leave a like and comment if you love this. And if you have any lecture ideas, feel free, and I can make a lecture on any suggestions that you have. So look at the word masculine. Masculine, line. Line is just one line, which represents order. 1. Feminine. 9. 1 and 9 equals 10. 0 and 1. The binary code of all creation. Why is feminine? Why the number 9 for feminine? Because the moon has to go around 9 times to create a human in the feminine's womb. And look at this image of nature. All nature is zeros and ones. Now you can tell. The stick is a 1, it's a line. And here we have curves. It's curves and lines. Curves and lines create reality, creates matter. Everything is 0 and 1. We even see this with the sky. The sky represents zeros. They represent curves, the heavens, the heavenly bodies, the sun. These are circles, the moon, circles, the planets, circles. Down here is matter, representing the square. We have the Freemasonic square and compass, representing lines and circles, masculine and feminine. We see this with Leonardo da Vinci, with the circle representing the spirit, the void, the womb of creation, and matter, which is the body. This is the soul in matter, infinite potential in matter. This represents spirit over matter. This represents the architect of reality, zeros and ones, spirit and matter. This is all the same thing. Understanding this binary nature of the universe, where 0, feminine, represents the infinite potential and 1, masculine, symbolizes order and structure, can benefit you in several ways. Manifestation and creation is the first way it can benefit you. Now that you understand this, you understand that everything comes out of infinite potential. 0, infinite potential. 1, action equals manifestation equals creation. So you must pull things out of infinite potential. If you have ideas but don't take action, too much 0, nothing materializes. You'll never materialize if you sit there imagining all day, visualizing all day. You have to take action. They both come hand in hand. If you only take action without tapping into intuition and creativity, too much 1, your actions may feel hollow and misdirected. Using both effectively leads to greater success in life, work, and relationships. This is the 33rd degree motto, or this is on the 33rd degree of Freemasonry Scottish Rite logo, and it's called Order Ab Chaos, order out of chaos. Chaos is the 0, infinite potential. Chaos is the dimension of the imagination. This is where this all ties in now. Imagination is the dimension of infinite potential, pure potential, formless creativity, and the realm of infinite possibilities. It is the void, the unmanifested energy that contains all that could ever be. That is the imagination. The imagination is the dimension that you are connected to, and you can pull any idea out of and materialize it into a reality. Matter, on the other hand, is order brought out of the imagination, chaos. It is when raw potential is structured, defined, and crystallized into form. This is the fundamental principle of order out of chaos, the process of turning the unseen into the seen, the abstract into the concrete, the dream into reality. That's why we say dreams into reality. Dreams are in the imagination, infinite potential, and the human mind is connected to high dimensions of consciousness, which we can pull ideas, things out of, and materialize it into our lives. Whether that's good or bad, that's completely up to you. But we have access to higher dimensions beyond the physical plane. And this is the secret that the human mind is connected to, and that you are not just a physical body. Okay? The universe itself was born from chaos. Before form, there was only energy and potential. Our minds function the same way. The mind is a microcosm of the universe. Our thoughts exist in an infinite field of possibility, but they only become real when we take action and give them form. If your inner world is filled with chaotic thoughts and impulsive emotions and negativity, then creating order within is essential for balance, clarity, and growth. What do I mean? Order out of chaos, 0 and 1. All creation comes out of infinite potential. The mind, the imagination, is the infinite potential. The material world is the order. It's the effect. Therefore, if your material world has chaos, if your room is messy, if your body is out of shape, if you do not look after yourself, everything in the physical world is just a reflection of what's going on inside of you, what's going on inside of you. So if you have a messy room in a messy house, this reflects as a messy mind, a chaotic mind, and we must create order in our mind. So this applies to all realms of your life. This applies with your mind, it applies with your emotions, it applies with your manifestation, it applies with the physical world, with the masculine and feminine. 0 and 1 is heaven and earth. It's everything. It's duality. It's on and off. It's everything. So it applies to all realms of your life. Okay. So in order for this to benefit our lives, we must, one, have awareness and observe the chaos. Step back and observe your thoughts and emotions without reacting to them. Recognize that you are not your thoughts, you are the observer of them. You are the soul, you are in between them. You are the midpoint between the left and the right, the 0 and the 1. You are the soul. Journaling or meditation can help you identify patterns and negativity and impulsivity. So it's important that we recognize these patterns, we recognize the chaos within us, and we transmute it. 2, implement structure, mental discipline, mindful practices, meditation, breath work, and slowing down your reactions. Cognitive reframing, replace destructive thoughts with constructive ones. This is so important. For every negative thought that you place attention to, place your attention onto 5 more positive. Never think about something that you don't want to manifest, because whatever you're placing attention on inside that mental field of consciousness, you're giving attention to, which then can manifest into your action, and that will materialize into your world. Routine and ritual. Create daily habits that anchor you. Morning routines, exercise, or creative outlets bring stability. We must master the inner world of thought and emotion. We must bring chaos into order. In order to create anything in your life, you're turning chaos into order. Order out of chaos. You're turning 0 into 1. This is the binary code. All things underlie it. 0 and 1. So it's so important that we master our minds, we master our emotions, we master our inner world so we can produce effect in the outer world. We cannot create consciously and effectively if we have chaotic thoughts and impulsive emotions. So I hope this has made more clarity to you so you can implement this into your life. I know I haven't given you much strategic things to implement into your life, but now that you have a better understanding of how this world is pulled out of infinite potential, you can use that. Everything in your life is pulled out of your imagination. Every text you send, everything you think of, oh, I'm going to do this later, that is your imagination thinking about the future. So you just have to do this on a mass scale to create something big in your reality. So I hope this gives you a better understanding of how the universe works and has benefited your life. If you have any comments or any suggestions or how this video made you feel, let me know in the comments section. I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you all inside of the Symbolism Masterclass on March the 8th.
bookofwisdom.com. Visit today.
Welcome to Revival of Wisdom.
Today we're going to be breaking down Saturn worship and how the occult are linked in with Saturn. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the celebrities. All these celebrities are doing 666. Okay, covering the one eye, which also symbolizes the all-seeing eye, which is another occult symbol. But we're focusing on the 666, the 6 with the 3 fingers. Also, we have CERN with the 666 within their logo. Also Disney, okay, as you can see here, 666 within their logo. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and even Cadbury's. Monster Energy with the 666 in Hebrew numerals. Unleash the beast. So what is 666 to do with Saturn? Because on Saturn, there is on their north pole of Saturn, there is a 6-sided hexagon, okay? So Saturday is named after Saturn Day, the 6th planet. It is also the 6th day of the week and has a 6-sided polygon on its north pole, 666. Not only that, when you create a star out of the hexagon, you will create a 6-pointed star, okay, with 6 triangles within the star and a 6-sided hexagon, which all adds up to 666. Okay, so this is why all these symbols contain 666. So why do they worship 666? Saturn. Because Saturn is the god of time and death, okay, and order and lessons. Okay, Saturn is a very cold and dry being. That is the 6th planet from the sun. Okay, Saturn represents the winter, which symbolizes death. Okay, because all nature dies within winter because the sun's not there. So it represents darkness and death. It rules the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Okay, so in the celestial cycle, Saturn is always opposite the sun. So it's the opposite of the sun. So they're worshipping this energy which is death-like. Okay, this god which is death and does not bring life. Okay, also is the god of time. Okay, also in the Roman and in Greek it's called Chronos. Okay, which is just a translation for time. It's also known as the Father Time, aka the Grim Reaper. Okay, the Grim Reaper. Keep that in mind. We'll come back to this. Here are some more logos with Saturn. Okay, Nike, Internet, Wi-Fi. Okay, all these occult logos all worship Saturn. They are a satanic occult. They worship this death god, this evil god. Okay, this is where the cube now comes in. Okay, because what colour is associated with Saturn? It's black, because it's the absence of light. It's opposite the sun. So black is the colour associated with Saturn. Each planet has its own colour associated with it. Okay, so when you make the cube, okay, as you can see here, the cube out of the polygon, it creates what? A black cube. Okay, and the Kabbalah, okay, Kabbalah means cube, Allah means the god, the cube god. These religions are secretly worshipping this cube god, the god of death, Saturn, Satan. It's the same entity behind it all. Okay, so also we have these black cubes in Australia, Denmark, all around the world, these black cubes, because this occult is worldwide. It's Saturn, Satan taking over this realm. Okay, also with this black cube, they walk around it like the rings of Saturn. Around the black cube of Saturn with the rings, they walk around in circles. What are circles? Cycles. What is a cycle? Time. The time god. This is why it has a ring around it, because it represents time, cycles. Okay, and this is another depiction. Saturn, always depicted with this Reaper staff. Okay, keep in mind this staff, just like we associated it, aka the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper also wears a black robe, representing Saturn with the same staff. Can you see it? This is where it comes in. Okay, it's the same thing. Look, the same staff with the black robe. Black representing Saturn, the god of death. Okay, the Grim Reaper, Satan. Okay. Also, when you graduate from university, what do? You wear a cube on your head, a black cube with a black robe. This is Saturn worship. See, this is how Saturn, Satan, has tricked the world into worshipping him, not God, the sun, which represents God. So what is a corona? Because a corona is a crown, a circle, okay? A set of concentric circles of light seen around a luminous body. So Saturn. So this is why they used to worship Saturn by wearing crowns in the ancient days, and we still do to this day. The king or queen has a crown, a corona. Also, corona, the drink. Corona adds up to 666, just like Saturn is 666. But like you see in the corona, you see the staff. You see this staff, just like the staff of Saturn, the Saturn god, like the Grim Reaper, with the black robe and the staff, just like the Saturn god. What is the Grim Reaper? It's a killer. It represents death, just like Saturn, the god of death and time. So all these occults and secret societies all worship the 666 god, which is Saturn, Satan. All of our energy is being put into Saturn. Okay, and Saturn, Satan, is harnessing all of this energy. So gradually, this is what the mark of the beast is. Like it says in the Bible, the mark of the beast, or the name of the beast. Here is wisdom. Let him know that he hath understand and count the number of the beast, for it is 6. It is the number 6 of a man, and is 600, 666, 666. So this is what the mark of the beast is. They are going to eventually put green chips, just like Neuralink, which is what Elon Musk is pushing. Okay, so this chip is the mark of the beast, and it's going to be implanted to our hands or brains. Okay, and they will manipulate our consciousness, and it will manipulate our DNA, and it will directly connect us to AI, and AI is linked in with Saturn, Satan, as the demons and the people who rule this world are in love with AI. They want to connect humans to AI. And this will control our consciousness completely and give all of our energy back to Saturn, Satan, this deity that they all worship. Just like when you get married, you wear a wedding ring, the rings of Saturn, over the finger, which represents the sun. So you're basically seeing Saturn over the sun. The sun is the son of God. It represents the sun, represents God. So you're putting Saturn over the sun. So thank you guys all for tuning in. I'm going to leave you guys here. Please leave a like, comment some topics that you want me to talk about. And please subscribe for more amazing content. God bless.
bookofwisdom.com. Visit today.
So depression doesn't actually exist, and in this video I'm going to show you how depression is actually a choice. And I'm going to give you some solutions on how to deal with it. And this is probably going to change your life forever just by doing this alone. Okay, so the first thing you need to understand about depression is that it exists in your conscious mind. It exists in your thinking mind. So what is inside your thinking mind? You have your body, your name, your reputation, your trauma, your memories, your family, your worries, your interests, your bills, your passion, dislikes, goals, right? Most people identify their lives with this. They identify their lives with their thinking mind. They think they're their name, their job, their reputation, their memories. But this is not who you actually are. Who you actually are is the observer of that. What happens if you stop thinking? What is left? You're left with unconditioned consciousness. You're left with the self, which is what we refer to as I. We are the consciousness, not the thinking consciousness. You are not these labels. You are not your thoughts. You are not your job, your name, your reputation. Okay? And the reason why I'm telling you this is because it's very important, is that we are something beyond
this body, beyond this name, beyond our thoughts. We are the consciousness. So depression exists inside of the thinking mind, the conscious mind. Okay? So if you want to get rid of depression, you must learn how to escape the thinking mind. And not only just escape, but that's step one. In meditation, you do meditations, right? We sit still and we have to learn how to control the mind and turn off the thoughts. And when we turn off the thoughts, depression goes out the window because there's no thought present in your mental field of consciousness to be depressed. Okay? You must understand, who is the one suffering from the negative thoughts? Who is the one suffering? Your mind is not suffering because the mind is producing the thoughts. Your body's not suffering from the negative thoughts. You are suffering. And who is you? You are a soul. You are that feeling. You are that person beyond the thoughts, beyond the feelings, beyond that. You are the one experiencing. You are that. Meditation gives us the ability to turn off the thinking mind. This allows us to escape our thoughts. Okay? And it gives us, over a long period of time after meditation, you'll be able to turn this switch. And this switch will be able to turn off your thoughts. And by doing this, we will be able to control our conscious mind directly by the hand. So when you notice yourself gaining them negative thoughts, we can then turn off the switch of turning off the conscious mind and rising to our authentic self and knowing the thoughts are just illusions. Now, let me tell you something that's very powerful. Most of your thoughts are coming from beliefs. Most of your feelings are coming from beliefs. So if you have a feeling of lack, this is coming from a belief that you don't have much. If you are feeling alone, this is coming from a belief that you are alone. So what we must do is restructure ourselves. We must restructure the subconscious mind, and we do this in many different ways. We can do this with meditation. We can do this with visualization, visualizing our desired reality as if we are living it. We can do this with affirmation. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I'm trying to speak something into existence with affirmation. No, you're not using vibration to try and change reality with what a lot of these new age people will teach you. Vibration, your words will not have much an impact on reality. That's the truth. But what they do have an impact on is reprogramming and recrafting and refining your mind. If you repeat, I am wealthy all day long, your subconscious mind, that word will be lingering inside your subconscious, and you will start to mold that into your conscious. You'll start to be consciously thinking about this. Most of your thoughts are coming from your subconscious. So if you want to get rid of depression, you got to figure out the trigger. What are you depressed about? What are you feeling? What are the beliefs that are making you feeling and thinking this way? And that's what you must restructure. You must restructure your subconscious mind through visualization, meditation, and affirmation. You do these all the time. You do these every single day, and you will slowly, if not surely, restructure your subconscious mind. While by doing the practice of meditation, you'll gain the off switch as well. Sometimes depression comes from not living in your authentic self. You're not doing the things that your soul is telling you to do. We all know what we should be doing at all times. I don't care what you have on. We all know we should be doing something. We all know that we have there's a higher aspect of our mind that tells us, oh, we need to be doing this, but I'm actually sat here on my phone. Oh, I shouldn't be eating this, but I'm doing it anyway. There's always that higher voice. And that is the voice that has to be connected to. And when your body's not acting out the voice of the soul, then the soul becomes sadder, and suffers more and more and more. There has to be a connection between the soul, the mind, and the body. They have to work in unison. Okay? So I hope this video helps with depression, with whatever you're going through mentally.
Left and right hemisphere, and what are they doing? How does it contribute towards your perception in this world? And this is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. We're going to be breaking down
the two hemispheres of the brain and how they function in your life. So first, we have the left hemisphere. This is the logical hemisphere. This is the analytical, divided, scientific, or verbal hemisphere. The right hemisphere is creative, wholeness, artistic, symbolic, and metaphorical. The right hemisphere does with non-verbal things. It produces a holistic perception. It is more to do with creativity. Because what you must understand is that we are not in the external world. The world is produced by our brain. We see with our brain. Our eyes are a part of the brain. What we touch is the brain's interpretation of electrical signals on the nervous system. What we smell is the brain's interpretation of smell through the nose. What you taste is your brain's interpretation of chemical reactions on your taste buds. So what you are experiencing is the brain. The brain is a computer creating a simulation. And you have two hemispheres which breaks down this reality. So essentially the brain is the perception creator. It creates perception. So if the brain is creating this, who is the one experiencing the brain? Well, that is you, the consciousness, the mind, the all-seeing eye. You are the all-seeing eye experiencing the brain, the observer behind the brain, behind reality, behind the emotions. So if you're walking through a woods, this left brain sees individual trees. The right brain sees the whole woods. It sees the biome. It sees the bigger picture. So when you are walking through this woods, the right brain picks up a holistic perception of reality. It creates the woods as one unified woods. The left brain's job is to break this down and analyze it so that we can see individual things. And this is also necessary for humans to have the ability to break things down and manipulate things in this world. So without this left hemisphere, we could not manipulate things and break things down. So this right hemisphere is important because it sees the whole woods. It sees humanity as one unified consciousness. However, the left hemisphere sees individual egos. So the left hemisphere is the place of the ego because it only understands it sees the world very divided. Okay. So, for example, here's another example of the left and right hemisphere. If someone pulls out in front of you in traffic, your left brain's going to start going crazy and analyzing them, calling them names. The right hemisphere, however, sees the bigger picture. Maybe he didn't see you. Maybe it's just a mistake. Maybe he's in a rush. You see how the two brains are very different. They do the same thing, but they function in different ways. The right hemisphere is feminine, the left hemisphere is masculine. So, like I said, this person pulls out in front of you, you start to think with the left. If you start to perceive that in the left brain, you're going to start analyzing them, you're going to start going crazy and calling them names because you're analyzing it. You're not seeing the bigger picture behind it. You're not seeing it from his perspective. So there is a crossover. So the left hemisphere of the brain controls the right side of the body, the right ear, the right eye. Everything to do with the right side of the body is connected to the left hemisphere, and the right hemisphere controls everything on the left side of the body, including your eyes, your arms, your legs. So everything is crossed over, and even your visual field is crossed over. So this is your visual field, as you can see here, and even the left side of your visual field goes to the right brain. There's a crossover. No one really knows. There's not really a reason for this. However, this is how the human body is designed. As we all know, the human body is the most advanced piece of technology on the face of the earth. They cannot replicate the human body. And they tell you it has no creator. This is crazy. People are that brainwashed, they can't even understand that their body is the most advanced piece of technology. Your body is so advanced, the computers that you use are mimicked of the body. Everything they create is mimicking nature, but they don't show you how intelligent nature is because they don't want you to understand you're in an intelligent design. So anyways, let's get back on track.
there is a crossover in the brain, and this is why they teach you to write with your right hand. And I was speaking to someone who's in a nunnery, or whatever you want to call it. They were a nun, or they knew someone who was who was a nun, and they forced these people, these nuns, to write with their right hand. You had to write with your right hand. This is why, I'd say at least 70% of the world, or 80%, is right-handed and right-legged, because they taught us this to activate the left hemisphere more, because of this crossover that happens in the body. So when we are using this right side more, we are using that left hemisphere more. Why? Why are they doing this? Well, they also called it writing. Writing is a spell, to cast a spell on you, to use that right side of the body so that you use this left hemisphere, because they want you to see the world as a divided perception. They don't want you using the right hemisphere, using that left side of the body to activate the right hemisphere to see the bigger picture and see how everything is all one and everything is created. This left hemisphere domination keeps you from seeing the connections between everything, because that left hemisphere analyzes, it breaks things down. So when we are left hemisphere dominated by using the right side of the body, we are essentially seeing everything as divided. And this is why so many people will not understand my work, because my work connects dots and connects fields of knowledge, and makes you see the bigger picture. So people who are left hemisphere dominated will see my work and think this guy's crazy. But it's all about activating that right hemisphere. So they called it writing, because every word you say is molding your mind in some sort of way. The things you see is molding your mind. Everything you take in through the five senses is molding your mind. And language is a massive spell, especially the English language. They called it writing, so that you use that right side. It's a spell, because your subconscious mind picks up everything you say. And 90% of your daily basis behavior and thought patterns is produced by these subconscious programs within the subconscious mind. Essentially, your conscious mind is only the 10% of you. The conscious mind is just what you're aware of, what you're wearing, how you're feeling, what you're thinking. That's your conscious mind. The subconscious mind is controlling every system in your body. It's telling your heart to beat without you being conscious of it. So essentially, this is what they're programming. They're programming this system in the back of the mind, which is controlling everything through the words. And this is what spells are, because it's all about creating perception in the subconscious. So they want you to use that right side more. I truly believe the ancients, they were balanced. They used the left and the right side of the body. They didn't have a stronger side, because they understood this science of the body and how the body works. So this is actually called phonetics. It's not etymology. Etymology is the study of root words. Phonetics is the study of how words sound similar. The way words are spoken. So phonetics, phone, is why we call them a phone, because you speak into a phone. So this is write and writing, to use that right side to activate the left hemisphere more. So your hands are a manifestation of your brain. The left hand is the right brain, the right hand is the left brain. And as a child, we were always taught that when you place your hands together like this is the size of your brain, which is true, because your hands are a part of your brain. They're an extension of your brain. Every part of your body other than your brain is an extension of the brain. Everything's working and feeding back information to the brain, because you're experiencing the brain. So another trick that you can do, or another exercise, is looking in the mirror and closing one eye at a time. If you close your right eye, if you take your top off, for example, you'll analyze your body if you close your right eye, because you're using that left hemisphere. Sorry, other way around. If you look at yourself through your right eye, you'll use that left hemisphere, which will analyze yourself. You'll see individual body parts. If you close the right eye and use the left eye, you'll see your body as a whole. You won't really analyze it. This is how you can analyze yourself, using these two hemispheres. So this whole system is created to keep you thinking logically and to restrict you from creating and restrict you from understanding symbolism, allegories, metaphors, and teamwork. They want you stuck in a logical way of thinking and a logical way of seeing the world. This is why when you go to school, you are told exactly what to do. You're told to think this way and no other way. You're told to do orders, do this. It's a very left-brained system, because if we all started to open up this right hemisphere, we'd all see, wow, everything is all one, everything's all connected. And this is what my work is doing. I'm showing you everything is one. The physical world is an illusion of duality, but everything comes from the one source, the one mind. The universe is a giant mind. I am mind, you express mind. We all possess mind. Behind the physical body is the same mind consciousness. And we are all expressions and fractals of this infinite consciousness called mind. And this is what they don't want us to figure out, is that we are all just one consciousness expressed. It's an infinite consciousness. It's even in the squirrel, it's in the dog. All of these different animals, they're just different bodies, but behind the bodies is the same consciousness, which is mind. That's what the pineal gland is. The pineal gland is not the mind, and it's not the third eye. The third eye is your mind. If you have a closed third eye, it just means you have a closed mind. If you have an open third eye, it just means your mind has expanded from beyond physical things through astral projection and mystical experiences. This is how you gain an open third eye. It's just an open mind. A mind that has astral travel, that has explored the realities within the mind. So everything they do is to keep us in a divided state. Divide and conquer, right? That's their motto. All to keep you thinking how everything is divided. Everything they've done is division. Postcodes, countries, everything is divided. Like football teams and all this stuff. It's also a natural process when you grow up, because as you grow up, your brain is constantly analyzing the world. So this is sort of a natural process of how you become more left hemisphere dominated, because your brain is always analyzing. And unless something awakens you, you can awaken that right hemisphere where you can start to see the bigger picture. Even the music, all tuned to 440 hertz, shuts down the right hemisphere of the brain. 440 hertz, Spotify, Apple Music, the radio. Every time you turn on the radio, it's tuned to 440 hertz. This was specifically tuned. It never used to be tuned to this. It was in the 1950s. It was changed. The standard music tuning was changed to 440 hertz because it shuts down that right hemisphere of the brain. They don't want you thinking, seeing the world in this way and perceiving things as one. And I'm going to show you. It tells you this in the Bible. Cast the net onto the right-hand side of the boat and you will find the fish. What was Jesus saying? This is, you see, people read the Bible and they don't understand it. If the Bible is not talking about you, then it has no meaning. The Bible, everything you read in the Bible is about you and how it can better your life. It occurs to you. So if Jesus says, cast the net onto the right-hand side of the boat, this is an allegory. The boat is your body. Cast the net, it's the awareness, the perception, onto the right hemisphere of the brain, and you will find the fish. What's fish? What do fish do? They swim deep in the ocean. It represents the knowledge, deep knowledge. Cast the net onto the right-hand side of the boat and you will find fish. You will find the wisdom. You will gain understanding when you cast that your awareness into that right hemisphere. You will see that I am you and you are me. We are all one consciousness. You will see everything. You'll see that the trees are the same patterns as the nerves in your body. You'll see everything is connected. Everything is a fractal of the one infinite consciousness. And how many fish did they catch? 153. That adds up to 9. This is now numerology. The Bible's filled with numerology. Adds up to 9. What's 9? Human consciousness. It represents consciousness. You're in the womb for 9 months. Feminine. It's all about consciousness. And then Revelation 14. And I looked, and behold, the Lamb standing on Mount Zion, that's the spines, the mountain, with him 144,000. 144 adds up to 9. It represents consciousness on top of the spine. You see? And he had his name the name of his Father written on the forehead. What's the Father? The higher mind, the higher consciousness within you. Where is that? In the forehead, the pineal gland. The pineal gland is the radio receiver for the higher consciousness. Because every body part of the body has consciousness. Your heart has consciousness. Your gut has consciousness. You are thinking with these different consciousnesses. You think with the gut. You think with your penis. You are thinking with all these consciousness. And it's about raising your consciousness to the higher consciousness, which is the Father, the mind in the head. Don't think with the lower parts of the body, because that is your animal nature. Think with the higher parts of the body. It's all representing consciousness. How to activate the right hemisphere of the brain? Well, it's all to do with non-verbal things. So music will activate the right hemisphere. Make sure it's tuned to the right frequency, though. 432 hertz, 528 hertz. Any frequency that adds up to 3, 6, or 9 is good for you. Meditation, turning off the thoughts, and you raise yourself to the higher brain. Symbolism. Symbolism is all right hemisphere. Reading between lines, metaphors, determining the Bible, it's all right hemisphere. Seeing the bigger picture, it's reading between the lines. So tithing in the Bible. These people in the churches are giving 10% of their money to the church. It's nothing but a scam. What these people have done is they have externalized the Bible. They have taken the Bible and literalized it so that they can make a business out of it. So what they're doing is a tenth of the produce of what it says in the Bible, a tenth of the produce of the land, whether grain or fruit, is the Lord's and is holy. So what's that saying? The tenth of it's basically saying give the 10% to the Lord, to God. What does that mean? Well, what's the land and the fruit? This represents physical things, the physical things that you have. The tenth of the physical things that you have. What's that? That's your ego. All the physical things that you have is all to do with your ego. That's the lower self. The ego, what is the ego? It's the mind's perception of the physical self. You had no ego when you were a child. Okay, when you were a child, you had no ego. As you grew older, you created the ego. But the ego is the full self. It's the echo. Ego, echo. It's the echo of the full self. So it's saying, give the ego over. Take away the animal self. In that left hemisphere, that's all to do with the left hemisphere. That left hemisphere sees the ego. It sees individuality. It's divided. So it's saying, give that 10%. Give that 10% of you over to the right hemisphere. The 90%. The 90% of you is in that right hemisphere. The higher self. Now, I'm not saying the left hemisphere is bad. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. But it sees it sees things divided. It's like I said, the left, the hands are manifestations of the brain. So when these Christians are praying, they're putting their hands together. What are they doing? They're syncing the brain hemisphere is what you're doing, because everything's an extension of your brain. So if you put your hands together, you're putting the two hemispheres together. And what's happening when you place the hands together? All the electricity in the body is now running in a circuit. So once you connect these two hands, the electrical energy is now running in a circuit. And energy can move around the body quicker and more efficiently. So when you pray, when these people are praying, they don't realize that they're engaging in ancient forms of meditation, of balancing the two hemispheres. So now we're talking about balancing the hemispheres, not the right hemisphere. This is what Israel is. Look at the symbol for Israel, the up triangle and the downward triangle. What's that? The up triangle represents male. The downward triangle represents female. Okay? This is talking about the brains. Israel is Ra. Isis, which is female, the Egyptian god. Ra, El. El means God. Electricity. That's the force of the physical world. It's the force that runs this world, electricity. It's the force of God.
El, consciousness. It means God. Israel. Isis, Ra, and El. It's the two hemispheres of the brain, the Holy Land of Israel. It's the Holy Land, it's the brain. Once these two hemispheres are synced, this is how you unlock your consciousness. This is the easiest way of astral projecting. Hemisphering, I forgot the word for it. Hemisphere syncretization, something like that. It's about syncing the hemispheres. This is how you unlock your consciousness. Once the brain is running as one electrical system, this is how you balance the two masculine and male opposing energies. Once these opposing energies are no longer in war with each other, the brain, they come together to work as one. You unlock your consciousness. You are born again. What happens when a male and female have sex? It creates a new child. It becomes one. You are born again. Once the two hemispheres of the brain, you are born again. You can then have an out-of-body experiences. So this is why the symbol of the Holy Land, Israel, is the up and down triangle back combined together, because it represents unification of the male and female, unification of the hemispheres. You're born again. You unlock consciousness. And you can get this for free. It's called the Gateway Tapes on my website. Basically, it's a audio track from the government, and they did this in the Gateway Experience. It's a CIA document, and what they do is there are different forms of meditations you go through. I think there's about 5 waves of meditations you do, half an hour each one, and it will teach you. It will sync your hemisphere, because what does it do? They understood that playing one frequency into one ear and another frequency into the other, they understood that the right ear is connected to the left hemisphere, the left ear is connected to the right hemisphere. So when you play 2 different frequencies into both ears, what happens? The brain picks this up, the 2 hemispheres of the brain picks this up, and it syncs it. It syncs these 2 hemispheres, these 2 frequencies together. So now the brain is working as one to sync this frequency. So this is how you can sync your hemispheres, through listening to these frequencies. Okay, you can get them for free and do the meditations yourself. This will definitely help you. This is an easy way to astral project. So it's all about syncing the hemisphere and seeing reality from a unified perception. We should all aim to get out of that left hemisphere. I'm not saying don't use it, but we should now start to see. We should not start to read between the lines of the Bible, read between the lines of the symbolism they're showing. Study symbolism, study allegories and myths. What are they trying to tell us through these allegories? And, this is how we start seeing things in a better way. Once we understand that we are all microcosms of an infinite consciousness, we can all come to one, because love is the unifying force of this infinite consciousness. We are all divided. We are all disconnected from our hearts. Once we all connect with our hearts and see that everything is one, we can all start to love and come together as one, because love is the unifying force of consciousness. So if you haven't already seen, I now have launched the Ethereal University. I will be doing lectures like this one, but even better, deeper, and even releasing knowledge that I can't talk about online, as they are censored. I'll be doing lectures every single week. I'll be doing live calls every single week. You also gain access to my library, which is filled with over 45 occult books, filled with knowledge. Okay, I'll show you now. Plus, you get my book, The Book of Wisdom, PDF form, and the Human Health Guide, PDF form. You also get all of this stuff, the health section, Q&As, ethereal meditations. We've got some celestial studies, cosmology, and numerology coming soon. You also get the brand new Manifestation Mastery course, plus the library. And there'll be new books, new lectures, new live calls every single week. Or you can get the Book of Wisdom. use the code WISDOM in all capital letters to gain 40% off. This sale will be ending very, very soon. So if you're watching this, be very quick to get yourself a physical version or a PDF of my book. You can get it in all these languages. Hope you enjoyed this video, people. I'll see you inside the Ethereal University, the real university. Have an amazing day.
bookofwisdom.com. Visit today.
Welcome to Revival of Wisdom.
This video is going to be about the flat earth and the breakdown of the whole cosmology. We're going to be digging very deep. I've got a lot of pictures and images to show you, and a lot of dots to connect. So let's start with the Freemasonry art. So this artwork we have here is the Freemasonic cosmology, as they know and believe. So what is it symbolizing? We obviously have to start off with the 4 pillars representing the 4 corners of the earth. The 4 corners with duality. You see, there's everything on earth. There's good and evil. Good, evil, positive, negative. Good, bad. This is the checkerboard. This is what it symbolizes. Okay. Obviously, we have the sun, the moon. The sun gives you energy. It's the anode. The moon is the cathode. It's the opposite. It takes your energy. So therefore, you become sleepy when the moon comes out. You see, everything on earth, everything in the universe is balanced. There's complete balance, symbolized by duality. There's always 2 opposites. We have the all-seeing eye, and obviously 7 stars representing the 7 planets, but not planets as in we know planets. They're not physical spinning balls of gas. They are energies. They are lights emitting from the realm above this realm. They are lights through the firmament, through the electromagnetic field. So let's go through that again. The 4 corners, duality, positive and negative, cold, dry. Everyone on earth has an opposite. Everyone, there's 2. Okay, and then we have the sun, the moon, the 7 planets with a 5-pointed star. What's the 5-pointed star? Of course, it's the 5 elements: spirit, water, earth, fire, and air. Okay, that's what the 5-pointed star is symbolizing, the 5 elements of earth. And then, most importantly, we have the compass. The compass is very, very important, hence why it's in the center. The compass is symbolizing many, many things. And one of the most important things, but we'll get into that after. We have a boat with water outside of the earth. So we have a boat on water, symbolizing the waters separated by the firmament, the waters above, separated by the firmament from the waters within the firmament, the earth. So this is what it's symbolizing. So the compass, what's the compass? This is where the compass comes from. The Polaris, the most important star there is, because it's in the center of Earth. The sun, the moon, and the black hole, black sun. Because all creation comes from center, the seed center. Okay, but we'll get into this after. But also, this is a very important Masonic symbol because they use this symbol a lot. This is one of their main symbols, hence why Neil Armstrong has the Masonic ring with the compass on it.
the people who supposedly went to the moon, which obviously they faked to push this globe model, because the globe model is based upon fear. Because the globe model, if they can sell you the globe model, they can sell you anything then. You don't know where you actually are. The globe model is to push fear upon the masses, because the globe model means there's not enough resources. There's also risks of asteroids hitting the planet. There's also risks of space extraterrestrial invasions, global warming, asteroids. You see, this is all the fear that they can gain off selling you the globe model. Okay, because they don't want you to know that this is an intelligent design. And also, they're hiding God, the creator, the source. This is why they are satanic. They are opposites. They are lefty, Lucifer, right, righteous, godly. Hence why they do the symbolism on their eyes. 666. This is another famous, what's it called? Sorry, famous astrologer, astronaut. This is another famous astronaut doing 666, showing that he's in the alliance of the occult. But even look at their 10th anniversary stamps. They have a Masonic compass on there. Also, the Order Out of Chaos. Order Out of Chaos, double-headed eagle. Okay, the Order Out of Chaos ring, which they wear. So all of these astronauts are in the occult. They are lying to you. They are in with this order, this Masonic New World Order, whatever you want to call it. So let's break this compass down a lot more. Because as I showed you here, the center, okay, this is what the compass is symbolizing. Let's go into the North Pole map. This is from 1595. This is a rough estimate of where this map came from. It's from around the 1500s to the 1600s, maybe 1400s. There's not an actual set date on this map because obviously our history has been tampered with. But let's break down this map and the symbolism that they use towards this map, because this map is the map of the North Pole. Okay, so in the center, we have the black rock symbolizing the tower, the pole, North Pole. And what's on top of the North Pole? Obviously, it's Polaris. North Pole and Polaris. Okay, with the 4 islands around the center. Okay, 4 islands around the center. And this is what blew my mind, right? They say that Santa sounds similar. And if you look at this pole that's pointing to the North Pole, you see this line here. So this is obviously from the 1600s. What color is Santa? He's red and white. Just like this map pointing to the center is red and white, and Santa comes from the North Pole. So it's not a coincidence that they use red and white. They're mocking this map because obviously they took over after the 1500s, 1600s. They took over around the 1800s. So they're mocking this map with Santa coming from the North Pole with this red and white line to the North Pole. Notice the 4 islands. Okay. Like windows, their symbol, they obviously in the occult, they're part of the New World Order, is symbolizing these 4 islands with the blue behind it for the water. Okay, so this is another occult logo that's symbolizing this center, because the center is so important. Okay, we'll get into that. Also, we have the Mayan cosmology. This is the Mayan cosmology. This is what they created. This is their artwork, with also 4 major lands around the center. You see there's 4 with green in between them all. 4 major lands with the underworld. You see this underworld is also symbolized by the Masons with the coffin of the skull and bones, the deceased, the dead. Okay, so this is also mentioned in the book of Enoch. Okay, and it's called Sheol. Sheol, the underworld. Okay, and in the book of Enoch, it says all spirits of the dead go to these hollow places, that they'll wait until their appointed time of judgment. And it also says in the book of Enoch, there are 4 hollow places underneath. 4 as above, so below, representing the 4 islands. As above, so below. That's where that could link in. Okay. The book of Enoch is very important because it was found in a cave thousands of years ago, and has a lot of truths about this realm and about this world we live in. So let's go back to the Mayan cosmology. So the ancient cosmology, they all must have had some sort of communication. They must all be at peace with each other, because all of their cosmologies link together. See, the Greek, Babylonian, Indian, Celtic. Okay, they're all linked in together. They all knew that they were in an enclosed system with an underworld and obviously a firmament. Okay, so this is what they all knew. They all must have had some sort of communication. They were a lot more advanced than us. They knew the center of the realm. Okay, and obviously the United Nations flag also symbolizes their center. You see how it has like a grid with a circle around the center. It's symbolizing that center of the realm, because that center of Earth is so important. The United Nations flag, all have it. See, some different ones will have that circle around the center. Because the center is the seed. All things come from a center. So the torus field is so important because it is the spark of life. It's the building blocks of the universe, this creation. Because all things have a torus field. Just like an apple with what's in the center of an apple, a seed. Because the center is where the energies hold, is where the energies meet, and it creates that spark of life. Just like your heart is the center of your body, and it has an electromagnetic field. Because the center, all things come from the center. So this is why the North Pole is so important, because this is why it's so important, because this is where the creation sparked from, the center. This is where the most electromagnetic energy is stored. So this is why the northern lights come from the center. It's electromagnetic energy. This is what the northern lights are. It's being emitted from this black hole in the center. Okay? And obviously what else is on the center? Polaris. Polaris is the center star. Okay? So the center star is what sits on top of this North Pole, Polaris, because it's a pole of electromagnetic energy, symbolized as a black rock, a black hole, pole. You see, because all creation comes from void. Light is born from darkness. Without light, darkness can't be born from light, you see, but light can be born from darkness. This is why darkness is so important. And this is why there's a black hole in the center of our realm, like the black sun. The black sun, the Polaris star, the North Star. You see, so this is this North Pole, Polaris. This is what they're talking about. And this is why compasses are an 8-pointed star, because Polaris is symbolized as an 8-pointed star. This is where a compass will point you to. It will point you to that center. So notice how a compass has this black hole in the middle, you see, and it will point you to this meeting point, the north, because in the center is the center of the torus field of the earth. This is where the most electromagnetic energy is. You see, everything gets sucked into the black hole. Okay, this whole reality is being projected from that center point, just like your eyes suck in light. It's a black hole. Your eyes suck in the light of this light being emitted from this center place, this electromagnetic energy at the center, which is the seed of everything, of everyone. You see, just like an apple has the seed in the center in darkness, because in the center of the apple, it's dark. It's black. It's pitch black. But that's where the seeds are. That's where the life is. But Polaris is so important because it's that center star which lines up. It is the pole, it's the top of the pole of the torus field. So Polaris would be here at the very, very top. And this is where the compasses point you to. And this is why the star of Ishtar, the 8-pointed star of the Sumerians, also talked about this 8-pointed star, and it's called the star of Ishtar. Okay, and who is Ishtar? Ishtar is the goddess. Okay, so she's not a male, she's a female, because every creation is brought through a female, a womb. Every single human on earth is brought through the womb, the sacred feminine energy. And the womb is pure darkness. There's no light in a womb, just like the center of our realm. There's no, it's a black hole. Okay, and guess what? She's the god of fertility and sexuality. She is responsible for all life. Okay, so the star of Ishtar is the star of Polaris, which is symbolizing the responsibility for all life, the center of our realm, the black sun, the black hole. Okay, so this is what that god of Ishtar of the Sumerians is talking about, the goddess, the womb, the seed of creation. So this would be the portal, more than likely the portal in and out of our realm, because it's the top of the torus field. And what's above this realm is the heavens. So this is where you get sucked in from the heavens. Your soul gets sucked in and brought onto this plane of existence called Earth. These are some space NASA symbols. Look how much Polaris symbolism there is. And notice how it's at the center. You see this circle? This is like a half circle. And at the center is an 8-pointed star of Ishtar. It's the same thing. It's Polaris. It's at the center. And notice on some of these, look, this one is a bear holding the key and an arrow pointing to the Polaris star, so that they hold the key to Polaris. Another one with like a demon holding a key to the what? Polaris on top of him. Also an eagle, which is a Masonic symbol. The eagle holding a key on top of the center. You see, and notice how there's an arrow going up to the Polaris and an arrow down, as above, so below, to Earth. So you can go out of Earth and into Earth through Polaris, and the eagle holds the key. You see? The eagle holds the key, just like this. This demon dragon holds the key to Polaris. And look at this one, Earth, with an arrow up to Polaris, an 8-pointed star. So Polaris is more than likely that portal which the Anunnaki used, the Sumerian gods used, because the Anunnaki symbol is also an 8-pointed star. Okay? And like I said, that center is the seed of creation. The center is the black hole. Okay, just like your pineal gland is at the center of your brain. The pineal gland is at the center of your brain. And that's what connects you to that spirit realm, to the source. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all learned something today. Please leave a like, a comment, and please subscribe to the channel for more content. God bless you all.
bookofwisdom.com. Visit today.
How are we doing, people? It's Revival of Wisdom. We're back today talking about sun worship. Okay? And please enjoy, sit back and enjoy the video. First thing we need to understand is that the sun is the risen savior. It's the light of the world. Without the sun, we have nothing. Now, the sun is the Son of God. We didn't make the sun. No one owns the sun. But who created the sun? Obviously, the Creator created the sun. Therefore, it is the Son of God. And that is what Jesus is symbolizing in the Bible. The Bible is a metaphorical story. That's why it's called the greatest story ever told, because it is a story about the sun, the zodiac. It's about you, the systems in the body. It's about everything that is sacred in this creation. Now you can see the suns behind Jesus' head in all of the ancient portraits, even the ones that are more modern. You still see a sun on the back of his head because he is the sun. He's the light of the world, our risen savior. And this is what Christians are lost because they don't realize it's a symbolic story and they think Jesus was a historical person. He's not a historical person. Okay, this is what we need to get out of our mind. This wasn't a historical person. It's the Son, our risen Savior. The Son is the soul. It's the soul of this creation. Because what is a soul? A soul is pure life force, pure energy. Whatever a soul inhabits, it gives life to. Like our soul feeds our body. The sun feeds the earth because the sun is a soul, and that's why the ancients called it Sol. Because it's the soul and it's in you and it's the light of the world. It's the light of everything. It gives life to all things. Here's Jesus and his 12 disciples. The 12 disciples symbolize the 12 zodiac signs. Aries, it rules the head region because the 12 zodiac constellations rule specific regions of your body. Aries, the ram, you have a cerebrum in your head. This is Aries on the head of the table. His Gemini rules the arms and the lungs.
The two twins, Gemini. He's holding up two hands for the two hands and arms. The twins. Cancer has a knife in his hand. It's not so clear, but he has a knife in his hand. Cancer is the crab. Crabs have claws. And he's pointing at Virgo's Adam's apple, saying there's no Adam's apple there. It's a woman. Who's the sixth sign? The sixth sign is Virgo, the Virgin, the only woman in the painting. Now notice how there are 3 people in 4 groups for the 4 seasons and for the 3 months and 3 zodiac signs in each season: spring, summer, fall, winter. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John with the suns on the back of their heads, because it's the 4 states of the sun. The 4 states of the sun. Now, 6th sign, Virgo, the Virgin, the only woman in the painting with no Adam's apple. Then we have the sun, Jesus, red and blue, red shift, blue shift. Electromagnetism. The ancients knew this. He's got one hand open, one hand down, because the sun gives and retrieves. The sun rises and it falls. It gives, then pulls away. That's what the sun does, and that's what he's doing. His arms are out, symbolizing the rays of the sun, casting down onto the earth, giving and then receiving. Libra, his 2 hands are equal, he's holding his arms out equally, because Libra is the 2 balanced scales. Libra is when the sun is balanced between the summer and the winter. It's being judged. The sun isn't balanced. That's what Libra is, the 2 scales. Capricorn is the goat. Goats have 2 horns, and you can see the 2 horns on his head here. See? So this is astrology. This is what Leonardo da Vinci is depicting here. It's astrology. And he knew the story of the Bible is all astrology. It's all based on astrology. The Son of God, the real sun. Now here are some Bible verses. I am the light of the world. Obviously, that's the sun. What other light is there that lights up the world? The moon can't do it. It's the sun, the one and only sun, our risen Savior. Because if the sun didn't rise, we'd all be dead. So it's our risen Savior. And it dies for our sins every night and then gets reborn every day. Now Jesus calms the storm. Mark 4:35-41. The disciples are all on a boat and there's a heavy storm. But Jesus is asleep. The disciple says, Jesus is asleep. We need to awake him. They wake up Jesus, and Jesus got up and rebuked the wind and said to the waves, quiet, be still. Then the wind died down and it was completely calm. Well, when Jesus was asleep, this is the sun not being risen. It's not risen yet. Because in the night times, that's when the storms happen on the sea, in the ocean. And when they awake Jesus, Jesus rises because he's the sun. He rises and everything calms. Because when the sun comes, the storms go. You see? So it's the sun. It's all about the sun. Here's another, Luke 22:10. A disciple asked Jesus, when will we know it's the end times? And Jesus says, as you enter the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him to the house that he enters. Well, this is clearly talking about astrology, the topic that Christians think is satanic, when they don't realize the whole thing's based on astrology. Because the end times is the end of Pisces, which is the 2 fish, which is the age we've just gone out of. And you can see all these ancient churches here with 2 fishes, because they knew it was the age of Pisces. There's an ancient photo, ancient artwork with the 2 fish. Pisces. And the end times, as it talks about in the Bible, when Christians think the world's going to end or something. But no, it's just the end of Pisces. As you enter the city, a man carrying a jar will meet you. Follow him to the house. The house is the zodiac sign that he enters. And the zodiac sign is Aquarius, because that's what it is, a man carrying the water. We know this is astrology because a woman, that is a woman's job in the ancient times. In the ancient times, the woman used to get the water. You would never see a man collecting water back then. That was the woman's job. whilst the man builds the houses, for example. You see, so we know it's talking about astrology because astrology is the man holding the bucket of water. It's the end of Pisces. Now we are in Aquarius. And of course, Luke 24:36, the risen Savior, the Son. Now, the Son is also born on the 25th of December, a virgin, just like Horus, Mithra, Buddha, Krishna, Hermes, and thousands of other gods, all born on the 25th of December. Well, it's because the sun moves 1 degree northward on the 25th of December. And on the 22nd to the 24th, it stays in the same degree because it's moving south. But then on the 22nd, it stays in the same degree on the Southern Crux constellation. And the ancients called this the sun dies on a cross because the cross is the Crux constellation, the Southern Cross. And it stays on that same degree for 3 days on the cross. The sun dies on a cross, and then on the 25th, moves 1 degree northward, bringing back the summer, the light, the warmth, the growth of crops. And this is the sun being reborn again, a virgin, because it's pure. And here's Mithra, another sun god before Jesus was around, before Christianity. It was Mithraism, and Mithra, Ra is Ra, the sun god, Egypt. It's all about Ra, the sun. You see the crown of thorns on Jesus' head, symbolizing the rays of the sun. And here are the rays of the sun on the back of Mithra's head. Krishna, the sun. Buddha, the sun. Horus, horizon. All born virgins, all did miracles, all resurrected. Dead for 3 days. Well, here he is, dead for 3 days on the cross. And resurrected. Because it's the most ancient religion ever been on the face of the earth. The worship of the sun. And we should worship the sun, because without the sun we are nothing. The sun feeds us, feeds the earth, feeds everything. Without the sun we are nothing. It's been reversed, and now we're worshipping man. When we're worshipping a man called Jesus, was never real. It's all about the sun, the most high, the most powerful, potent, celestial body in the sky, the orb that feeds us every day. It dies for our sins and rises every day. It's the sun. Now on the Holy Communion Day, it's the worship of the sun. They give out mini suns. It's Jesus holding a sun. And they raise the sun on Sunday because they go to worship their sun god on Sunday. Not Saturn Day, not Moon Day, Monday, but on Sunday when the sun is exalting. And they hold suns up above their heads because the sun rises. They're symbolizing the sun rising above their heads as Savior. It's the sun. It's the Holy Communion Day. And here's Jesus giving a piece of himself to the children. It's the sun, the light. Judas was known as a backbiter, a backstabber, because he stabbed Jesus in the back. He betrayed Jesus. Well, this is just another astrological story about the constellation Scorpio, because the Scorpio is the J, looks like a J. J for Judas, the scorpion, the backbiter. Scorpions backbite, they bite with their back. And what does Judas do? He betrays Jesus by kissing him to let the warriors know who they need to get. So he kisses Jesus, and Jesus gets stabbed in the back. Well, when you get stung or bit by a scorpion, they leave like a kiss. So Judas kisses him and gets betrayed. Well, this is because the sun, when it hits Libra, it's balanced. The sun is balanced because it comes through summer. Now the sun's starting to die. The sun's starting to die. It hits Libra. And then as soon as it hits the Scorpio, it gets betrayed because now the sun has to fall to winter. And Saturn is there waiting to take over the darkness of the winter. So he gets stabbed in the back by Scorpio, Judas, the scorpion, the backstabber. You see, it's an astrological story. Here's Mary. Mary means marry, which means pure. The sun is pure. No one gave birth to the sun but the God. And it's born every day. It's born every day on every year. It's born pure. There was no controversy. There was no, activity for the sun to be born. It's pure. Now, the 7 metals come from the 7 planets. The sun gives you gold, and this is why the sun is golden. It looks gold. And this is why the banks are backed by gold, because gold is the most valuable metal, because it's the sun, the most valuable celestial orb in the sky, in the heavens. Well, here's Jesus, another ancient symbol of him being crucified on the cross with the big sun, the Southern Cross constellation. The sun dies on the cross constellation. And if you go to the old etymology dictionaries, you will see sun and son is the same word. They come from the same etymology roots. You can use them for no matter what, but they've been confused today. But if you go back to the old dictionaries of etymology, they are interchangeable. You can use them. Son, sun, sol, it's all the same thing. The 12 disciples, 12 brothers of Joseph, 12 tribes of Israel, 12 breastplates on the stones, because it's all the 12 astrological signs. They could have used any other number, but there's 12. Because 12 is the mind, which is God. 7 is the number of matter, which is man. 7 energy centers in the body. 12 cranial nerves in the brain, because it's the mind. 12 is the 12ness. The zodiac is literally the mind of God, the signs of God. Now here we see here, Job 38, 31 to 33. Can you lead forth a constellation in the season? He's asking you, can you read the sky? Can you read the heavens? Canst thou bring forth the Mazzaroth in its season? Mazzaroth means 12 signs, the zodiac. Why did they translated every single Hebrew word in the Bible into English, but they decided to leave out Mazzaroth? Why? It's because if that said zodiac, Christians would have a different view on the Bible, but they leave that out. But Mazzaroth actually means the 12 signs, the zodiac, and the stars means sign. The word stars means sign because the stars are signs, things to come, which is off in Hebrew, which means sign, things to come. You see a sign on the road, it's something coming. But God is saying, no, what does he say? To qualify as a director, a judge of man's life on earth, one must be able to govern the heavenly bodies that rule the earth. It's telling you to read the heavens. We need to read the heavens. Astrology, the 12 zodiac signs, the mind of God. It's telling you, read the Mazzaroth, read the zodiac, because they are things to come in your life. They are signs. It's not satanic, it's made by God. God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs. Signs are things to come. The 12 zodiac signs. It's all about astrology. Here's Mary holding the sun. His son, her son. It's the sun in the sky. The one and only, the most high. The soul, the solo because it's on its own. The most powerful, Ra, radiance. Here's the Pope holding the sun. All 3 popes holding the sun because they're sun worshippers and they know the true meaning and origins behind Christianity. Sun worship. Here's the Vatican is a sundial. Yes, this is literally a clock. Your clock, your watch is a sundial. It's got 12 sections on it for the 12 zodiac signs. 12 hours, 12 Horuses. Now here you see Jesus walking on water. Well, it's the sun, and here's the beard of the sun. Here's the pyramid of the sun, the illuminated one, the all-seeing eye, the sun. Here's the Ankh. The sun creates these symbols. The ancients knew this. Now, when you see these headdresses, these are actually the days of procession of the sun. Aries, Cancer, Libra. It's all about the sun. Here's some more sun worship going back to Egypt. Ra, Horus, Osiris, and Set. Jesus and Satan is Horus and Set. The sun and Saturn. Saturn rules the winter, Satan. Jesus, the sun, the light of the world, rules the summer, rules the day. Satan's the night, Saturn's the night, the sun is the day. The evil brother, Satan. Well, Horus comes, well, this is where we get the word hours from. There are 12 Horuses. The sun moves in 12 Horuses, 12 hours. Where's Horus? What hour is it? Where's Horus? His Ra, 12 noon, Ra, radiates, powerful, the most high sun. That's why he has a sun on the top of his head. These are the 4 states of the sun. Set, sunset. This is why we say sunset, because the sun is setting. His sunset, his Horus, horizon, the Horus is rising, Ra radiating, and the sunset. Then midnight is Osiris. Here's another ancient symbol for the sun, the scarab. Ra, the sun, scarab. It's got the word Ra in it because it's the sun. Here's the sun on top of the scarab with the wings. Because scarabs roll dung up hills, and then they'll let it fall down the hill to gain more matter. To gain more bigger, like a snowball effect. And this is, the ancients saw this as a process of the sun, because the sun climbs up the hill and then it falls. So they used the scarab to symbolize the process of the sun. The sun climbs and falls. Here's an ancient Egyptian cat cutting off the head of the serpent. Well, the cat is cutting off the head of the serpent, symbolizes the sun cutting off the nighttime. When the sun rises, it cuts off the nighttime. It cuts off the serpent. The serpents represent darkness or evil. Oh, there's some more symbology of the sun and the heavens, the arch, the royal arch, the firmament, the sun inside the firmament. These are all ancient churches, and they all depict the firmament with the sun inside. Is the ancient cosmology, you see, because it's all about the sun. Everything's about the sun, because the sun is our orb made for us to sustain life in this, inside of this creation, inside of this firmament, the royal arch of heaven. Here's the Freemasons depicting it. Here's the Masonic royal arch, but you can even see the zodiac signs. Here's Cancer, the checkered board. It's the royal arch of the firmament. Obviously, they don't want to tell you that. You live in space, apparently. Some more sun worship. Here's the beard of the sun on the water. They all have this long beard. And why do they say amen? Amen at the end of every prayer. Amen is a sun god, a creator god. It's all about the sun. So thank you all, people. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all gained some knowledge and insight. Please give me a follow, drop a comment, drop a like. Have a good day. Love you all.
bookofwisdom.com. Visit today.
Do the elites actually worship Saturn? In this video, we're going to be discussing the occult and esoteric meaning of the 7 planets and the abuse of the Saturnic energy within today's world. This will help you gain a deeper understanding of reality, yourself, how you create reality, and what these 7 planetary energies actually truly are. In order to understand anything within the universe, we have to understand the law of correspondence, the law of as above, so below. There is one consciousness expressed in infinite forms. Me, you, the squirrel, everyone who possesses consciousness within this universe is an expression of the one divine consciousness, what we like to call Source, God, or the grand architect of the universe. We have to understand there is a large scale, but the large scale is mirrored in the small scale. If we look at lightning, this is a large scale. This is the macrocosm. Then we go a bit smaller to the trees. We see the same pattern. Then we look a little bit smaller into into the human body. We see the same pattern of the nervous system. Then if we zoomed into the microcosm, brain cells, we still see the same pattern. This reveals the universe is a fractal universe. The large is reflected in the small. And this is the symbol of the Fibonacci sequence, which represents this as above, so below principle. The big spiral represents the macrocosm, but then this spirals into the tiny spiral. This symbol goes for eternity, never touching, never finishing. The large is mirrored in the small. With understanding this, we can realize that we are a microcosm of God. We are our own universe. We are our own world. Your body is the earth. Your mind is the mind of God, just in a smaller version. You are a drop in the ocean of the vast collective consciousness. With that being said, everything you see outside of you is inside of you. As above, so below. The 7 planetary energies on a macrocosmic scale are the 7 energies that form the physical world. The physical dimension is crystallized thought. Everything you see around you was thought made manifest. Thought imagined, then created in the physical reality. Therefore, these 7 planetary energies are 7 astral forces that create and weave the material existence. For example, if we look at a tree has 7 categories of consciousness, 7 creational forces that create the tree. This is the reason why we have 7 days of creation in the Bible. This is the reason why we have 7 days of the week for the 7 planetary energies. Monday is for the moon, Mars is for Tuesday, Mercury for Wednesday, Jupiter for Thursday, which is Thor. Thor is Jupiter. Venus for Friday, Saturn day for Saturn, Sunday for the sun. This is also the reason why we have 7 major energy centers within the body. The 7 life forces that flow through the body to give physical existence to the physical form. Man is a microcosm of the universe. With that being said, if we look at a tree is nature, and nature is the macrocosm, the creation of God's mind. And if we look at the tree, we can see 7 creational categories that go into create the tree. For example, the stem of the tree, the trunk, represents the sun. The root system, the base of the tree, where the tree grows out of, is Saturn. If we look at the fruit of the tree, that represents Jupiter. The smell, the look, the colors of the tree, that's Venus. How the tree communicates with other trees through the root system is Mercury, the intellect, the intelligence, the communication. The leaves of the tree is the moon. The defense mechanism of the tree, how it defends itself from infections and other territories, is Mars. So we can see all physical matter, all physical creation demands these 7 categories of consciousness, these 7 planetary forces. But again, that is the macrocosmic scale. The macrocosm is reflected in the microcosm, which means you have access to these forces, these 7 planetary energies, and you use them to create anything in reality. You've been using them maybe unconsciously your whole life. For example, this book that I've created, the Book of Wisdom Volume 2, you can find it in the bio if you're interested in reading it. It has the 7 planetary forces that go into this tree, into this book. I used the sun, which is my passion and my drive to take actions. I used Mercury, which is my intellect, my thinking, my communication. I used Venus, the layout, the look of the book. I use Mars, my defense of my work, my trademark, my copyright. I use Saturn. Saturn is my time, my discipline, my attention. I use Jupiter, which is the why, the reason why I created it. I used the moon, which is my care. My care is the generative force. Whatever you create in your reality is because you care. You care about keeping a house above your head. Therefore, you go to work and earn money. Care is the driving force to create anything in reality. What you see right now watching this video is because you care about watching this video. If you lose care about watching the video, you will turn it off and continue to do something else. All creation demands these 7 forces, hence why we have here a midsection. Sometimes we see the symbol of the earth, which is a circle and a cross in the middle, because these 7 forces create earth.
But again, this video is specifically aimed to Saturn. We're going to be discussing Saturn's Saturnic energy because there is a lot of misunderstanding in today's world, and I'm going to give my perspective and my research on the energy of Saturn and how we use it and how it's being abused in today's world. Saturn externally, because remember, we have an external world, an internal world, a macro and a micro. Saturn externally in the material plane governs the foundational and enduring aspects of existence, such as the roots of plants, the bones of our body, even the insects that dwell beneath the ground. It represents the dull, hard, unyielding forces of life, symbolizing structure, limitation, and conditioning. Under Saturn's influence, things become rigid, bound by the god of time, bound by restriction and boundaries. In Roman mythology, Saturn is revered as the god of time, ruling over the cycles, beginnings, and endings. This connection with this emphasizes Saturn's role in marking the passages of life, aging, and inevitable constraints we all face. Internally, inside yourself, the microcosm. Internally, Saturn embodies the conditioning within our own consciousness. When Saturnian aspects of consciousness